So thank you for coming today. I'd like to present to you today a small presentation on Johnson's Apparelmaster, introduce you to the Johnson's Service Group, and then primarily look at two business models that we use, PESTLE and SWOT, used for predicting our short, our medium and long-term future of our business, and then just a summary at the end of the presentation. So, just a small agenda. So, introduction to the Johnson's Service Group, then to look at Apparelmaster, the business that I work for, look at PESTLE, look at SWOT analysis, and then finally a summary. So, the Johnson's Service Group. Johnson's Service Group is a large UK-based company split into three main arms. The Apparelmaster business that I work for is essentially 17 laundries across the UK, offering national textile rentals, garment workwear, to large businesses, small businesses, national offering, and then our high volume linen, which is our Affenrod and Bourne business, looking at the Premier Inns, the Travelodges, the Holiday Inns of the world, and then finally our restaurant linen under our Stallbridge heading, looking at high-end restaurants, bistros, high-end hotels, and then the corporate events market such as Royal Ascot, Silverstone, etc. So, the Apparelmaster business is it's essentially UK's leading supplier of workwear. We were established in 1974. Our business employs 2,200 people across the UK, within 17 laundries, right up to and including Scotland. We have a fleet of 360 vehicles covering the UK, doing 20,000 miles per day. As I said, 17 laundries with 5 satellite depots. Sorry about that. We service 37,500 customers. We essentially put 1 million garments on people's backs a week. Those garments go through our laundries. They are collected, processed, essentially washed and squashed and delivered back. Purchasing 25,000 garments per week. Those 25,000 garments are then tabbed per specific customer. They are either placed on rental, so essentially we own the garment over a 3-year rental term, and the customer rents from us and we provide the service as part of that rental service, or it's done on a direct sale and then a wash-only contract. Average customer length is 13 years. For an example, at Newmarket, I have a customer called Trinity College, which I've had since 1986. So, Apparelmaster. Just a month in the life of Johnson's. So essentially we have 23,000 calls received, 115,000 garments issued, and these are monthly stats, 42,000 wearer movements, 4,292,000 barcodes scanned and tracked across our business estate, and 38,000 invoices generated. The business itself is a huge UK coverage, and what I will do in a minute is introduce some of our biggest customers. Just simply our national coverage, we have 17 plants, as I've said, 17 plants covering the whole UK, Wales, Scotland, and then right across the UK, Manchester, Birmingham, Newmarket, Basingstoke, Hadley, Brighton, etc. So, some of our customers. For example, at Newmarket, we service the Rolls-Royce account in Derby. We cover the Big Mars food contracts, Alpro Sawyers, the British Peppers of the world, and then from a larger business estate, we cover Tata, Caterpillar, Ford, Peugeot, Warburton's, Cadbury's, Coca-Cola, Walkers, etc. So it's a huge concern. All of the large food accounts require certain criteria to meet food industry standards. The plants are regularly audited to ensure that we conform to those standards, and that audit then complies to the customer's audit with the supermarkets. So, just the main thing today is to look at the two business models. The first one, PESTLE. PESTEL are essentially 6 influencing factors to PESTEL. So we look at the political side of our business, we look at the looking at PESTEL, the 6 influencing factors to our business, we look at the political side of our business, the economical side of our business, the social side of our business, the technological side of our business, the legal side of our business, and the environmental side of our business. Now, in terms of PESTEL, previously at Newmarket, I produced a steeple analysis. The steeple analysis is the same set of data, slightly different in terms of its lineup, but then it also includes ethical. So it's a bit of a big graph this, but essentially what we do at Newmarket, we have a management meeting that we spend a lot of time putting together flip charts on the wall with the headings political, economical, legal, etc. Those are then debated, brainstormed if you like, and then we come up with a series of points that we take into consideration the effect on our business. Those are then charted and placed in our corporate social responsibility board. All of these points that are raised are then looked at in more detail to see how they affect our business, and then are tailored into our business plan. So just on this graph here you can see across the top political, economical, social, technological, legal, environmental, and at the end I've included ethical. And then if you look at political, obviously Brexit is the main thing today, immigration, emigration, legislation changes, leadership changes, for government changes, etc. If you take social, so we look at corporate social responsibility, usage of utilities, plastic usage, etc. Changing of education, flexible working, paternity and maternity, ethical, which I've included on the end, cultural changes, diversity, values. So it's a wide range of points that we've raised, and then in those points we then debate the headings, the reasons why we would think Brexit is an impact on our business, and then those points are then taken and dovetailed into our business plan. So 2 key areas of focus on PESTEL. So I looked at political, so just for this presentation today, but there's a much more bigger document on our corporate social responsibility board. But if we take today political, we've put down as recruitment. Now recruitment may not fall under the heading of political, but the way Brexit has taken an effect on the UK market, and certainly in our area, recruitment is becoming more difficult. The Brexit impact has by 30% reduced the number of EU entrants into the UK. Our factory employing 80 people, of which 80% are Eastern European. We used to see a very large Polish workforce, which has disappeared in the previous few years. The Romanian workforce has increased, but even that's now slowing down. We used to, pre-Brexit, get a number of applications through the door, although we don't longer see them now. And now we're having to advertise and actually chase employment where it wasn't the case previously. That is an impact on Brexit. Brexit trading, and I'll put trading under Brexit heading again. Our garments are manufactured offshore. The change in the value of the pound due to Brexit has caused some impact on cost of purchase. Our machinery is also purchased across seas as well. So that has had an impact, and we've seen the cost of machinery go up considerably. Products and machinery, which I've just mentioned, actually under trading, but just on trading, if I flip that back to trading, the trading impact on Brexit, it has been seeing some damaging effects on the business that we have in the UK. Some of our larger businesses are having now to find cost savings based on their increased costs under the Brexit heading, and where their increased costs, they go back to the marketplace and then drive the cost down. We've seen some significant cost drivers, from large businesses looking to save every penny they can. Our effect on trading, if we're having to buy chemicals which are coming from abroad, we're having to stockpile to get the best price, and that is the same for some of the businesses that we trade with. So environmental, I've mentioned energy consumption here. Environmental pressures now are growing every single day. We've seen the campaigns in London previously. We are governed by legislation to keep our environmental practices down. Our energy consumption, so utilities, water, electricity and gas, we do everything we possibly can to conserve and reuse these utilities. We work under the CCA, the Climate Change Agreement, which in 2020 will give us a benefit of our work. So introduction to LED lighting, which saves electricity, introduction to water recovery systems and heat recovery systems, all part of the laundry business that allows us to save energy. It's very important for us. Waste, we generate a lot of waste, so cardboards, plastics, textiles. Textiles being the biggest waste that we have, and our textile waste we are having now to find alternative methods. Textile essentially goes to landfill. What we're trying now to do is find operators within the UK market will allow us to use textile waste and use it to create a reuse, so wipers for engineering parts, etc. And then lastly, I mentioned plastic. We've done a lot of work on plastic reduction within the Newmarket plant, just removing plastic cups out of vending machines, which are free vends. We took 4,000 plastic cups that were going into general waste every week just by offering reusable cups. They have to wash them up, little bit of energy used on water or the dishwasher, but it saves a heck of a lot of plastic use. We also put plastic recovery bins in the plant, so anybody that brings plastic in, and we have asked them not to, they have plastic waste disposal units that we can then collect that waste and dispose of it correctly under recycling. So the second part of the business model is SWOT. So we do a SWOT analysis and essentially look at our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities and our threats. Again, this is a Newmarket plant SWOT analysis. And again, the same thing as we do with Pestle, we put it on the board, we debate all the main headings, we brainstorm and they come up with a list of topics that we look at. So things like a strength for Newmarket with management experience, excellent customer focus. Opportunity is rerouting, so looking at our delivery area, looking at another plant's delivery area, seeing how we cross over and see whether we can save resource and miles. Weaknesses, obviously Brexit we put in there as well. Brexit is also a threat, competitor activity is a threat too. And essentially what we've done is identified points on each quadrant, and they can easily move from one to another. Customer focus is a strength today, could be a weakness tomorrow, subject to how the plant performs. So just on SWOT, the SWOT analysis, the way that we would look at SWOT, I take a number of key points, I factor them into my business plan. Strengths we don't forget about, because if we're working hard on our strengths and concentrating on our strengths and performance on our strengths is a benefit to the plant, but if we stop doing that and we take our eye off the ball, it so easily falls into a weakness. We work on our weaknesses, and we work on the weaknesses that we can change. Things like Brexit we can't change, all we can do is plan for the future. Competitor activity, we can work with the market and within the market. There are things that we can't allow for, and if essentially if a customer is going out there with silly prices and they're pushing our price down, we have to stand our ground, and we look at that within the market. With regards to competitor activity, we offer a relatively similar product. What makes us better than our competitors are USPs, and that's our customer service element. So, summary. Businesses don't stand still. The world is ever evolving, we all know that. We all face many modern challenges in business practices, and we have to look at ways to overcome these. The Pestle allows us to lay out simple terms, the key factors to Pestle, to understand the headings, to look at the different attributes to political and economical and social, etc., and so then to work on those headings to make sure that we actually stay within the realms of the plant, we stay on top of these points. Things that we can't overcome, we can only plan for. Whatever Brexit effect has, and it has a massive effect on the country as a whole, we will work with that when it changes, and we'll have to overcome that as we go forward. SWOT analysis, as I said, it basically looks at our strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats. We work hard on those. We make sure that we target the key areas. We work within the realms of the plant and within the realms of the wider business, looking at our strengths and our weaknesses. Opportunities are always a benefit if we can make our opportunities, turn them into strengths and not allow them to fall into weaknesses. And whilst we're doing that, continue to capture the new opportunities that arise. Essentially, work-based learning for me has, although I was doing these models before, work-based learning has allowed me to look at them again, to present these models again, to revisit them, and just resharpen my focus on these. We have done them, we do them annually to fit our business plan, but again, looking at it again, the market from the last time I did it, which was the back end of last year, has already changed. So it's worth doing on a regular basis. Follow my work-based learning activity. I'm going to be doing these every 6 months. So, thank you very much for today. That's my presentation over. Any questions? Thank you.